What is up, everyone? My name is Chris from Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. Today, I am here to talk to you guys about the Anchor app. If you haven't heard about the Anchor app is the easiest way for you to make a podcast. Just like I did, you can create your very own podcast. The best thing about the Anchor app is, number one, it's completely 100% free to use. Number two, it is really easy to use. So if you're not good with technology like my producer Lena here, this app is perfect for you. Number three, the app is available for download from your app store. The Anchor app provides certain tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. This means that additional recording software is not needed. Get it out of here. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other platforms. Best part is you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So guys, open your app store, download the free Anchor app today, or go to anchor.fm to get started.
3, 2, 1. What is up, everyone? Today we are back with episode number 26 of Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. Today, guys, is Wednesday, May 20th, on a beautiful evening here in El Paso, Texas. It is approximately 6:56 in the evening. Today, guys, as always, we are joined by our co-host, Misa. Say what's up, Misa.
Yo, what it do?
Also, guys, podcast favorite, Miss Milena Epiotis is here. Say what's up.
Yeah, yep.
And also, guys, today we are joined by a very special guest to the podcast. I don't know what Lena's holding up right now, but everybody's laughing at it.
I'm laughing because I can't read.
Like, what does that say? It's legible, but I can't put it together. I can't read.
I don't read cursive.
So today, guys, we're joined by a friend of the podcast, one of my best homies. His name is Daniel Chi-Town Espindola, or AKA Danny. Say what's up to the podcast, Danny.
What's up, everyone?
Daddy, what up, Daddy?
And he's not just any homie, he's our compadre.
So
We family.
Yeah, so Danny's sitting outside, guys. So if you hear any outdoor ambience, such as a train, birds, wind, you could attribute
Maybe
it
an
to
eagle.
that. Maybe a flying eagle, yes. But yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. Once again, thank you guys for showing support for the podcast. Danny, thank you for being on this episode with us. We've been looking forward to this one. So like I said, guys, real fast, make sure to go check us out on Facebook, like our Instagram page, and also subscribe to our YouTube page, Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast, now on YouTube. All episodes available for free to stream on the Spotify app, as well as the Anchor app, guys. So thank you for the support. So let's get into this podcast. Of course, guys, like for any podcast that we do, we are going to crack our celebratory beer for the episode. Misa, thanks for chiming in with that burp there. Well timed. Good job.
Hey, man.
So
My beer froze.
it froze on you in your homemade ice chest.
You know what? It gave me an idea of starting like an ice cream man, but like beer only, and then you could turn them into slushies.
Yeah, like have a little margarita machine on the inside.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
You know, you see a bunch of adults running out instead of kids.
Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, instead of playing like the Ice Cream Man theme song, they'll play like the 5 o'clock somewhere from Alan Jackson. You know what I mean? And then just have that shit going on, and then people will just flock out of their homes. You know what I mean? So,
Hell yes, dude. Yes. Let's start this business up.
hey, I saw.
Hey, is that Jamie?
Baby!
And the baby.
Shout out to Jamie. Hey, actually, a big shout out to Jamie, man.
She ran back inside.
She's been helping out a lot, forwarding our episodes, and I told her I was gonna give her a shout out and sing her song. So it's a quick song for Jamie. I used to sing this every time I see her. and it goes on like this.
That was
Gross,
beautiful.
guys. Here it goes. Ready? Jamie, you got your mama's smile, but you yesterday's child to me. Oh, Jamie. Something like that, guys. Thanks, guys. New album coming out 2050.
2050 new album, Misa and Friends, the project dropping 2050. Be ready for that. So, real fast, Danny. Once again, thank you for being on the podcast. What are your thoughts on the podcast so far? Have you checked out any of our episodes?
I have a few. I'm not gonna say all of them, as I'd be lying to you.
We
But
appreciate
yeah, a few of them.
honesty.
You guys
We
are
appreciate
fucking hilarious, especially you, Misa. The
Yeah.
burp,
Oh, his
the
head's
burp on
getting
that
bigger.
last podcast had me rolling pretty good
Hey, dude,
when
you
I
know
heard
what,
it.
man?
It caught me off guard, and it was hilarious.
It just comes natural. That's all I gotta say, brother.
Yeah, comes from the heart.
It comes from the heart, but I appreciate that, dude. Thanks for listening, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for listening, dude. Shout out to you for being on the podcast. So let's start this podcast off. We're gonna do our kicking things off segment. We're gonna go around the room here, our virtual room, because we're in a Zoom meeting, and we're gonna go one by one and see what's new with everybody since our last podcast. So let's try something new. Somebody volunteer to go first this time. Who wants to go first, guys?
I'll go first, man. In the past podcast, I know I told you guys that I've been thinking about working out, but that's like as far as I get. It's just a thought. But luckily yesterday, man, I was cleaning out my patio and my weights were there, and they're like, "Lift me." So I lift them up, and they're like, "Put me down." So I worked out a bit yesterday, and I worked out a bit today, and so I'm hurting, man, but it feels good, dude. It feels really good. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Oh yeah, dude! Can't wait to flex on Chris next time I see him, Dougie.
So as we can see from the Zoom meeting here, obviously Daniel works out. Look at the shoulders on this guy.
Yeah,
Jesus
Danny,
Christ.
like,
Jesus, dude.
that's
Come
what
on,
we should
guys.
put in the thumbnail is an old picture of Danny.
Like a buff one or like a small one?
No,
like
yeah, like
when
I
was
have a good one. I have a good
Cholo,
one of you.
like you was like you
Yeah,
said.
well, your head was shaved. Okay, so we went to eat at Applebee's. That's where that picture
Well,
is
hold
taken.
on. We're still on the kicking things off segment
Oh,
here.
okay,
We're
okay.
getting off track. That was a record pace for getting off track, guys. God bless. we got through one person, and we
she
just,
blew by everything.
yeah,
She's like at the final thoughts already.
yeah. She's already wrapping up the podcast.
She's ready to wrap it
wrapping
up. She wants to go home.
Okay, so
Fuck all y'all.
Danny, what's going on with you? What's been new with you? Tell us what's going on.
Honestly, nothing much. I went back to the gym today for the first time since like the whole COVID thing. It was really dead. I went early in the morning. I'd say like at 5 a.m.
Yeah, I saw it going two ways, man. I saw it being packed as hell or empty, man. One way people want to go back, and other people just too scared to go back. But fuck it, Daniel ain't scared. Daniel wants to get some
Yeah.
gains.
He should.
Nah, I
be.
mean,
He is
honestly,
asthmatic
I
as
wore a
fuck.
mask. I wore gloves. And I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I was hoping it was going to be dead, which it absolutely was. It was literally 6 people. I counted it, 6 people in the gym.
You go to like a Planet Fitness, or you go to like a different?
No, EP Fitness.
Oh, EP Fitness. Nice, man. I work out in my patio. Should try it out, dude.
Do it, man. Do it.
Hey,
Wherever you can, do it.
Leno, what's new with you?
A lot of sleep and
Yes.
a lot of sleep. School officially is done for the moment, but it's probably going to be over the summer. So, yeah, just holding on for dear life and enjoying the break.
Nice. You and Lena, you and Chris aren't taking any like summer classes or something like that?
Well, I think I might. I'm just waiting to see till honestly
Well-
grades post.
Well, let me give you some advice. Don't do it.
No, I've done summer classes. Believe you me, I've done 2. I've done 4 where you do 2 classes each semester because that's what they max you out at. Like, I've done summer school. It's a bitch.
Yeah, so I said negative on the summer school since I still have to work, so I just don't want to fry my brain, but that's okay. So we'll take off this little break and we'll get back to it on this fall semester. So what's new with me, guys? This past weekend, there was actually some live Bundesliga soccer that I caught, so I was super excited about that. And it was kind of cool to watch the games with no fans. because you could just hear the players like yelling at each other, the coaches yelling at the players. Anytime they kicked the ball, it sounded like they were like banging like a drum, dude. These guys kicked the ball so loud. So shout out to the Bundesliga for being back. Shout out our boy Chris Molina, Bayern Munich fan. We were watching together and we were like texting each other. So that was kind of cool just to have that camaraderie of having sports back. But yeah, that's new with me.
Hey, those were early games, huh?
Dude, all the soccer games that are played in Europe, anywhere Europe, Asia, all those games are played early in the morning here, but over there they're played at like 5, 6 at night. You know what I mean? Or like
that's messed up, dude. They should all have the same time.
Well,
I hate these rules, Dougie.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because you do have to be up like by 8 or 9 to catch a good soccer game, and they're always on the weekends. So
are you a fan or are you a fan?
Yeah, it really tests your strength, as a fan. Did you guys catch any of that? Probably not. None of you guys like soccer. Again, I'm on this island by myself, floating in fucking the sports world on my soccer island.
So melodramatic.
I did catch some UFC fights without fans, and that was pretty cool too, because the punches, the kicks, and everything sounds really loud, so it really sounds like they're getting beat up.
Yeah, dude. And then
it was actually pretty cool.
It's also cool how you can hear like the communication between their corner, like what they're telling them and stuff. I really
kick him in the balls.
Yeah. Grab his arm, break that shit, break it.
That's all.
Yeah, dude, they're real technical.
Like, imagine being in the fight and you're one of the fighters and you're on your back just getting pummeled, and the last thing that you hear is like, dude, he's kicking your ass, stop him, don't let him beat you up. And you're like, I'm trying.
Oh, you hear the guys from the other corner telling that guy to kill you, like, kill him, choke him out.
Yeah, they're like, beat him like he stole something. Beat him.
Dude, that's pretty ruthless, man.
Yeah, dude, that's funny. So,
but I love that shit.
Hey, Misa, one thing that I was thinking about since we're having Danny on, and we talked about this in our last podcast, how like most of the people we have on, we haven't seen them in like years.
Yeah, dude.
So that's actually not the case with Danny. I see Danny very frequently.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, we have a really good relationship.
There was a point where like the crazy thing is like Jamie and Danny, we've always, out of all of our friends besides Ryan, who we've lived with, they are the people we spend the most time with. Ryan, we live with him, you know what I mean? So that's the only difference, but that's the crazy part. Yeah,
and also me and Lena are actually godparents to Danny's firstborn child. So shout out to us.
Shout out Silas.
Eli, Espindola.
And shout out our nephew Silas. And just a free plug for myself, guys. If anybody needs anybody to baptize a baby, I'm here.
No,
I'm fully accredited by the Catholic Church.
Chris is starting
same.
I think he's trying to start like a starting 5
of godchildren.
In terms of like godchildren.
I hate him so much for it.
He's getting there,
I'm jealous. He has 3 total, one of which he swears he's not, but I know he is.
And I already have my center because my goddaughter Danielle is like tall as hell, and she's only like, she's not that old, and she's gonna be like probably close to 6 feet, so she's my starting center. But anyways, hey Danny, so just tell the podcast, kind of like give them an update on like your current life status. I know not everybody gets to hang out with you like we do. So
is Daniel?
So yeah, who is Daniel? What is Daniel? Where is Daniel?
No, who's Victor? Like, I'm trying to figure that out.
Victor. Oh man, that is my like an alter ego. That's a government name. No, I mean honestly, besides just working. I'm just always home, really. My homebody. I'm always with my boys, my girlfriend. Working out, that's my hobby.
There you go.
But besides that, man, I mean, just, doing the dad thing, working.
Talk to us about your kids.
My kids, my oldest is 6, almost 7.
That's wild, huh?
Yeah.
He's going to have another indoor birthday. Do you remember last birthday?
He was in trouble the last time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has 2 shitty...
Yeah,
Poor guy.
What?
Yeah, and then my baby is a year. He just turned a year in March. So
That's
about
crazy,
a year and a month.
huh?
There you go. So Danny has already contributed to the world population by 2. So shout out to him for that.
That is my contribution. There will not be a third.
Yeah. Hey, dude. So I kind of wanted to have you tell the story, kind of like not the story of how we met, but like
yes,
kind of like the way that we kind of became friends, but kind of like from your perspective. Like I'm interested to see how you would tell that.
I honestly remember the first time I actually met you was you picked me and our mutual friend Aaron up from his house. I don't remember where we were going, but I do remember you picked us up in your Saturn.
Hey, shout out Aaron and shout out that Saturn.
Shout out Aaron.
AJ.
You had a Saturn, bro?
Dude,
I had a Saturn too, coincidentally.
Oh,
yeah. Me and Danny had like the same type of car, but
brothers.
It was years apart. But it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, back then I had like an old Saturn that my aunt sold to me, and I would pick up all my friends regardless. Like,
were you gonna say my hood friends?
Yeah, I was gonna say my hood friends because I was gonna say that. Good catch, Misa. But anyway, Danny, continue.
Yeah, I mean that was the first time I met you, and I honestly like being your friend is real easy, dude. You're laid back. You're a very welcoming person. You're a great friend, dude. To be honest.
Aww.
I mean,
yeah, dude. Fucking I remember back in the day, dude. You used to look like when I first saw you. I was like scared. I thought you were gonna like steal my car from me from the way you looked. I swear to God, dude.
It looked like he was gonna initiate you to be part of his crew.
Bro, Danny looked like the most fucking gangster person that you've ever seen at Coronado High School, dude. I'm not kidding, dude. And we'll post a pic or we'll put it somewhere so you guys can see.
We're gonna show you the evidence.
He had like this mean like cholo haircut, and he just fit the part. And God, I mean,
because you do like you have a very serious face.
Buzz cut as hell.
You have a very serious face, and the reason I laugh about this is because like Vanessa, when she first met you, she's like, "That dude don't smile or what?" And I was like, "What?" You know, like you have a very serious face, and she's like, "I haven't really seen him smile. Like, is he always serious like that?" I'm like, "Nah, dude's mad crazy. Like, it'll give him a minute."
Danny only smiles when he's doing squats.
Or working out.
When he's ripping off his shirts.
Shit's hilarious.
Yeah, so
no, honestly, I get that all the time. I don't look like the most approachable person. I like to say, like, you know how women have resting bitch face. I would say I have resting asshole face.
Yes,
so,
straight facts.
Yes, you do.
I do. But,
I'm glad he said it because
I mean, nothing can be further from the truth because I'm really not as serious as I look. Or maybe I am.
Yeah, I couldn't take you serious with that Bears cap on, bro. Anyways.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I'm just kidding, man. I'm not.
So for
You're
anybody,
a Cowboy fan? Sounds like it.
No, man, not even, bro. Not even.
Worse. Guess his team, bro.
He's never gonna guess it, dude.
Football?
Yes.
There's only like 12 of us.
Okay, let me break it down a little bit. One of the worst teams on the West Coast in the AFC.
On the West Coast, a Charger.
Hey, there you go. First guess, because they're that bad.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Hey,
that's what's
hey,
up.
this is what I gotta say, man.
Second person I know that's a Charger.
At least he knows about the Chargers.
That's sure.
Yeah,
okay.
last podcast, if you guys listen to it carefully, when we're talking about football with Steve, the way Misa introduces the Chargers, he's like, I don't know if you've heard of the Chargers or not, but
hey, that's how I have to start off. Every time I say the Chargers, are like, what college team is that? It's like, listen.
So Misa already pointed out the Chicago Bears hat that you're wearing today. One of the things about Danny that's kind of unique about him is that he's actually spent some of his life living in Chicago.
Mexico.
Hence the Bears fan.
The Windy City? You're from there, bro?
Yes,
Nice.
But yeah,
Yes,
I
sir.
guess tell us a little bit about how you grew up. I know you grew up a little bit in Mexico, and then you ended up eventually going to Chicago. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I was born in Chicago. Grew up in Chicago. I only lived in Mexico probably 1 year out of my life. It was when I was like 10 years old.
And then he came back a Cholo. He came back a Cholo.
I came back like real Mexican. Speaking a little Spanish for sure. But no, I mean Chicago, I would say I've now lived in El Paso as long as I've lived in Chicago. So
okay.
you know, but my roots are where they are, and Chicago is always home. But I mean, yeah, growing up in Chicago, it's different. I I moved around a lot, but Chicago's a very beautiful place. It's very a very cultural place. Till I was 14.
Oh wow! So yeah, it's a good minute.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 28 now, so yeah, it's a half of my life. But yeah, Chicago's beautiful. Chicago's cultural. The one thing I like most about Chicago is the culture, is the fact that people hold on to their background, their culture. There's any and every race and ethnicity that you can think of in Chicago. It's very beautiful.
Any good Mexican food out there?
Yeah, there's good Italian food, like good anything, Puerto Rican, like all kinds of good food.
Wait. What's Chicago known for? That pizza?
That deep dish.
Oh,
deep dish pizza.
The deep dish pizza.
Yeah, we'll get into the deep dish pizza. I put it on the rundown. We'll get into that right now. I've never been to Chicago. If somebody was gonna go visit, like obviously the winter probably wouldn't be the best time. What would be the best time
unless you
to
like
go?
it, man. The winter's beautiful if you like it.
Well, yeah, unless you like freezing your ass off and getting cold as shit, which a lot of people from El Paso probably do not like. But yeah, so like,
man, I got swamp ass right now. I'd rather have that.
when would be a good time for somebody to go visit Chicago?
I mean, to really be able to do things, I would say summertime Chicago, June,
nice,
May, June, Chicago. Which is pretty much right around this time. It's starting to warm up. But it's just perfect weather. It's nice weather.
Nice.
It's like a little breeze out there, you know?
Yeah,
it's a little chilly.
Always breezy. Yeah.
It's called the Windy City, bro. Come on, what do you expect?
Yes, sir.
That's what's
I don't know, man. I think that's the worst thing I hate about weather. Like I could deal with cold, with the rain, but it's the wind that I hate the most, man. It's the wind. I can't burp and know that it's gonna go one way and then that shit hit me back in the face, dude. I can't do that.
Just gets blown straight into your face. Is it right on St. Patrick's Day? Don't they like they have like a river running through downtown River. Chicago, right? It's called the Chicago River.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us what they do to the river on St. Patrick's Day.
They dye it green.
They dye the whole river green.
The whole river green.
God bless.
Isn't that bad for the environment?
No, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure it's
There's no way they
environmental friendly chemical that they're putting in that water.
That's just food poisoning.
Yeah.
To all them animals.
No, but it's really cool. If you ever see it, it's like fluorescent green.
That's sick.
It's really, really cool.
How long does that last? Is it just for the day and that shit goes away?
I can't remember exactly, but I would probably say it's like the weekend prior or the full week of St. Patrick's Day.
Hey Chris, we gotta go over there, man. I've seen pictures of like that whole river going through the city, dude. That shit's dope, man.
Yeah, dude.
Kind of reminds me of like the river walk. It's just a lot bigger.
Well, probably that, and probably also a lot nicer. You know what I mean? I mean, it's Chicago. I would say they would probably have it nicer than San Antonio over there.
I don't know, man. It's Chicago.
But yeah, obviously there's a dangerous side of Chicago, the south side of Chicago. Danny, did you ever venture over there?
No.
No.
No, I mean honestly, like I know Chicago gets a bad rap for being violent, but the entire time I lived there, I didn't really come across violence like that. It could have been just because I wasn't from that neighborhood.
Did you ever go to an NFL game or anything up there?
NFL, no, but I have been to a handful of Cubs games.
Nice.
Oh, nice, dude. Nice.
Can you set the scene of? Can you set the scene of the whole Wrigleyville area and also Wrigley Field?
Oh, there's a buzz in there. It's very cliche, but there's a buzz. They don't call it the friendly confines or anything. Like people are just so friendly, so welcoming. It's very beautiful. The sounds. Wrigley Field has an organ player, so throughout the stadium it echoes the organ, whatever they're playing, and it takes you back to how baseball must have sounded like and felt like in like the 30s, 40s, 50s when baseball was just baseball, you know, like it wasn't TV, it was just a game, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So cool, it's very awesome.
So, damn, dude, all this talk makes me want to just leave my house and go somewhere, dude. I'm tired of looking out my window and peeking at my neighbor cleaning his yard.
Hey, you know who else was telling me he wants to go somewhere? Hey, Misa, your uncle's here.
No sea mamón!
Bro,
that guy needs to go back home.
well, I mean,
God, man.
well, let me tell you what he's doing, dude. He's using this whole COVID-19 situation to his advantage. He's like, what do you mean I can go home? The governor issued a stay-at-home order that they extended for El Paso, so I can't. He was about to go home, and then they said, nope, order extended. You guys are stuck at home. So, but yeah, we recently got him some fresh natural light, and he's doing good, dude. He's hanging out. Now, you know what he found that he got into, his guilty pleasure? Do you guys remember that show Laguna Beach on MTV back in the day? Yeah, that's what, he's streaming that like right now as we speak. But anyways, guys, back to Chicago. Hey, have you ever been to the Bean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bean.
What is
I
it?
took Jamie and Silas to it when we went
wait.
2 years ago.
I gotta tell you a secret.
It's really just like a big if you would call it a monument, but it looks like a bean, like a frijol. It just looks, but it's huge.
Like a
It's huge. Like you can walk underneath it.
Well, Mexicans were born.
Frijol.
That's where they were created.
Yeah, what's the history of this bean?
With a little bit of
Honestly,
manteca.
I don't know. It sprouted up one year. It was like sculpted by an artist, I guess, and yeah, it just sits there, and it's just an attraction, you know. Like people from out of the city, out of state, they come and they take pictures of it. And like I'm saying, like it's so big you can walk underneath it. You know how like when you look at a bean, it curves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that curve is actually like you can walk under it, and it looks like a gigantic bean.
That's crazy.
How long has that been there, dude?
I'm researching that shit right now.
It's already been like 10 years. Like I think I was
In
maybe 15 already.
2004.
Oh, so it's.
There you go,
I've always
15
thought it's
years.
always been there. Yeah, I thought it's always been there, man. That's crazy.
It's fairly new, but yeah,
I mean, considering Chicago, yeah, it's fairly new.
yeah.
But you gotta
for
get
sure.
one of those like roll tacos. Have somebody like make a roll taco in downtown or something.
Okay, wait a second. So Danny,
Yeah.
Like Chico's, you know, Chris.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Chris.
oh, okay. So the secret I gotta tell you is one time I asked Sai, like, where's your favorite place? This dude said Chicago.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah,
really? He's
you-
like, yeah, it's fun. I was like, dude, I want to go. Like, I'm jealous. And-
Chicago.
Yeah, I took him to do a lot of things.
Yeah,
Took him to
yeah.
the beach to see a lot of the city. Of course, I took him to a Cubs game, so he liked it. I mean, I'm glad he enjoyed it. He recently had like a little school paper. He had to write like a paragraph, and basically what he was saying, he's like, I like Chicago. At the end, he asked me, when can we go back again? You know, so I'm really glad he liked it.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's my home. So for him to like it, it's great. It's wonderful.
That's cool, dude.
Those experiences are definitely monumental.
Yeah, and then for people that don't know like that much of the like geographical area of where Chicago is, you mentioned that you went to a beach.
They gotta go back
Yeah.
to school.
No, well, it's because if you say beach, you wouldn't think that Chicago has a beach, but their beach is actually one of the Great Lakes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lake Michigan.
Lake Michigan. So I've actually been to one of the Great Lakes. I went to Lake Superior, but that one, I went to the beach up in Duluth, Minnesota, which is north of Minneapolis, close to the border with Canada. It's crazy over there, dude. It's a whole different like world over there, dude. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Road
Yeah, I
trip.
believe it.
Yeah,
Take
dude.
Daniel with us.
Danny, how
What
long is
even
the
took you
drive?
to Minnesota?
No, let's go to
Prince,
Chicago
Story I've
first.
never heard.
Is that
All the
Prince?
years I've known
You went
you.
up there to go watch Prince?
I went to Minnesota because my dad's sister lives up there with her husband, and they were getting married. So a few of us took a family flight all the way up to Minnesota. And funny story, dude. One of my cousins that came with us, shout out my little cousin JJ. On the way to the hotel from like once they landed in Chicago, they got into a wreck on the freeway, right? And my little cousin was in the front seat, and he broke his foot as a result of the wreck, right? But we didn't find out that his foot was broken until after the trip. So
How?
That's a tough kid.
because he would just say, "Hey, my
His
foot
foot's
hurts."
like facing the
Yeah.
other way and shit.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like, it's
like-
a cramp. It's just a cramp, guys.
He would tell us that. Well, he would tell like his mom and like the family that like we were with that his foot was hurting, but nobody really took him seriously. And so like I remember one day, like if you guys don't
that's
know,
like my family, dude.
yeah, dude, it's the typical
Like my
Mexican
mom. Every
family.
time I tell her
Yes.
something hurts, she's like, "Por mamón," and then that's it.
Yeah, dude. And then not only that, we're fucking on vacation. So of course they're not going to take you seriously. Like this is the one chance to go on vacation. Like you're not going to ruin it with your broken foot. But anyways, so if you guys have never been to Minneapolis, don't know much about it, they have one of the biggest malls in the world there. It's called the Mall of America. Me and my little cousin with his broken foot ran the whole Mall of America like 8 times, bro. And it's crazy, dude. There's a roller coaster in there. It's nuts. And I felt really bad for him after the fact because now I know his foot was fucking broken.
You asshole.
You're like pushing him and egging him to start running. And
Come on,
shit.
he's like,
You're like dragging him and like, come on, let's go, man. It's fun.
I was like, keep up, you pussy.
asshole.
But yeah,
He had to. What happened to him, dude? Did he have to get his foot amputated after all that?
I mean, we got back and eventually got a cast, and then he was fine. He's perfectly fine.
Foot
now.
amputated.
Shout out my cousin JJ. He helped me move from one of my apartments one time, so that
Hey,
was
Chris.
really nice.
Chris, did you sign his cast? My bad. Did you put my bad?
No, I put "don't be a pussy" out there in quotation marks though.
I knew you weren't a pussy.
Yeah, dude. Hey, Daddy.
For a while, I guess it really was broken.
Yeah, I guess it was broken. Even the doctor.
I believe you now.
Yeah, it took a whole cast. Hey, Danny, have you made the drive from Chicago to El Paso? How many hours is that?
That depends if you stop. If you stop to like rest or like at a motel to sleep,
Straight through. What is it?
it's straight through. I would say it's 28 hours.
I was gonna say 29. I was spot on.
28 hours.
The
If you
furthest I've
sleep,
been
maybe
is
34 hours.
24.
Is that the longest road trip you had?
Yeah, I've done it a couple times.
Damn,
But yeah, I
dude.
would say so. I
Misa,
haven't done it since I was a kid. But
what's
yeah.
the longest road trip you've been on, Misa? From where to where?
It was from here all the way up to it's called Watertown, South Dakota.
What the fuck did you do in Watertown, South Dakota? What the fuck is so if somebody was
It
like,
sounds made
hey
up.
dude, you know where we're going? Watertown, South Dakota. You know what they got there? Water and a town.
Nah, dude, it was my stepmom's dad lived up there, so we were gonna go visit him for 4th of July. I took one of my best buddies up there with me.
Hey,
It's a 19-hour drive, dude.
Yeah, your stepmom's dad lived up there. Is that what you said?
Yeah, he lives up there.
Okay, they're definitely not Mexican, right?
Oh hell no, they're not, dude.
Okay, just making sure.
But he was a
it's
cool
South
guy.
Dakota.
Hey, you know how I got greeted, bro? with a case of Coronas.
Nice, dude. Nice. They're like, here, bro, Corona, have one.
Yeah, dude. But it was fun, man. That's the farthest. It was shitty too, shitty time. But that's another story for another podcast. But yeah, man.
So, and then Danny's longest road trip was Chicago. Lena, what was your longest road trip?
Atlanta, Georgia, 20 hours.
From where?
Albuquerque.
Okay, so Albuquerque
One
to
more yard.
20 hours.
Atlanta.
That's it.
That's pretty far, dude.
No, but you know what, dude? That shit was
That's
brutal.
No. I'm saying I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like be insulting. I thought it'd be longer.
No.
I thought it'd take like 30
Well,
something
look.
hours.
It was it was 30 minutes for Lena because she was probably asleep the whole time.
I was. It says here on this shit 20 hours and 28 minutes. In my head, I'm remembering like 24, 26 hours. But obviously I'm wrong because Google says otherwise. So
My longest
No,
road
no,
trip,
no.
I drove,
Florida?
but all the way down to like Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So,
okay.
you can go to Florida and stop in like Tallahassee or Jacksonville at the top of Florida, northern Florida. But if you got to go all the way down to like Miami, you need to go literally all the way down the state of Florida. So, when my sister moved back in, I think it was 2009, right after we graduated, or right after I graduated high school, she moved to Florida, so we drove all the way from here over there. But we stopped in San Antonio, we stopped in New Orleans. My grandpa was alive back in the day. We saw him in Jacksonville. But yeah, that was the longest road trip I've been on.
How long was that?
I would say it's probably like around the same 29 hours, but I mean, when you do it in 3 days, it doesn't really seem like that. You know what I mean? When you take your time with it, it's a lot different.
And like 24 of those hours were like all in Texas, huh?
Well, yeah, a lot of the time is in Texas, and then once you're out of Texas, you fly by those coastal states like that, dude. You don't even know you're like fucking jumping from Louisiana to Alabama, but like nothing, you know.
I love Texas, man.
Yeah, dude. And
Texas.
then it was crazy because there was also like a hurricane coming at the same time, so we were like trying to beat the storm. But yeah, it was cool. But yeah, dude, back to Chicago. One of the things that they're really known for is their Chicago style pizza.
I fucking love pizza.
Can you go ahead and tell us what Chicago style pizza in Chicago looks like, tastes like, feels like? Let us know.
It's literally a pie. It's a pie. It's thick.
It's an American pie.
It's a pie. It's thick, and I think they're built backwards too, where the cheese is at the bottom, then the toppings, and it's topped with sauce. And yeah, when you cut it and you pull it, like you'll see all the cheese just like a mountain or like a fountain of cheese.
I want pizza now. I'm so hungry.
Yeah, I just text my wife telling her I want a pizza.
Misa, shut the hell up.
But there's a place in downtown called what's it called? Sparrows or?
I tried it.
Yeah, I've tried to go there.
Is it the sip?
Yeah, we tried.
It's a good attempt at it.
Never mind, man.
No, it's a good. It tasted good, but like I mean, when you just know the difference, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where's your go-to place for Chicago style pizza in the city of Chicago?
I mean, me growing up, I always ate Giordano's when we had deep dish.
Okay.
But honestly, like deep dish is kind of, it's kind of something you do rarely. It's kind of like when you go out to eat and you like don't often eat deep dish. It's kind of like that. That's not really the pizza I grew up eating. We had more of like neighborhood pizza joints, more often than deep dish.
Yeah. Well, deep dish is hard to make because when I worked at Dion's, we had everything we could do to make it. And I think I saw it made like a handful of times, and it was only to be made if like the manager was there because he was the only one that knew how to do it like the right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So excuse my ignorance, but what's the difference between New York style and Chicago style pizza?
New York is like thin sliced.
Like the one you fold?
Yeah, like
and
a
shit?
cracker.
You eat it like a taco? Okay.
True.
Yeah, it's very thin.
Chicago style is the
deep
thicker,
dish is
right?
the pie.
Okay, nice. Misa, which one do you think you would like, thick or thin?
Oh man, you know what? I had to try them both to know.
I know my answer. That Donald Trump meme.
Y'all are dumb as fuck.
Look at his face.
I love that shit, dude. I don't know, man. I'll just stick to Peter Piper.
No. So that leads me to my
Peter Piper pizza.
Danny.
Extra sauce, well
Yes.
done.
No. Okay, you got to be honest. Is deep dish better than Dion's? Like you can either only have deep dish pizza or Dion's pizza. Like
He's thinking about it. He's thinking
can't
about
have
it.
them
Look
in
at
the
his
same
face.
universe.
Look at his face. He's
Oh,
fucking
come on.
thinking. He's
Hey, I
thinking
think
hard.
Lena still works
not
for
fair.
fucking Dion's, dude.
I fucking hustle.
No,
that
but it's because
shit.
Lena knows how much I love Dion.
Exactly. We gotta go. soon.
Damn.
You see what I mean?
It's a good question.
I couldn't pick. I couldn't pick.
Nah, you have to.
You have to, bro.
I
Gotta.
can't
There's a
pick.
metaphorical gun to your head. It's being
Let's not be so
pointed
violent.
straight at your head.
Okay.
It's a metaphorical. It's a metaphorical gun,
It's a metaphorical gun.
and it's
I'd still have to
metaphorically
pick
loaded,
deep dish.
and the trigger's pulled. Or
Yeah, you said deep
Dion's
dish.
is good, but
Deep dish. Yeah, deep dish
deep
is a
dish
whole
is
other
just
thing.
different.
I would say Dion's. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so that's my next question: deep dish or Peter Piper?
Deep dish.
Oh, okay.
Damn. Danny's just
I like
blowing
Peter
you out of the
Piper. Peter
water with
Piper is
that.
really good.
Yeah.
Peter Piper is really good.
All right, let's wrap up this subject about Chicago. What is the one best thing to do in Chicago besides a Cubs game?
Oh man, you can do anything there.
But I can only do one, Danny. I can only do one. I only have time for
can
one.
only do
we only
one.
have one day.
Oh man, if you have one day, then just go downtown.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Just like everything is pretty much driving distance in downtown. Like all the tourist attractions, obviously, the Navy Pier, the beach at Lake Michigan. There's a fantastic art museum that I've personally never been to, but I've always wanted to go to. They have a planetarium, a shed
down.
aquarium.
I'm super down.
Yeah, it's you can do anything.
Now I want to go.
it's-
Shit.
yeah, we get a planet trip to Chicago.
Damn.
Yeah.
So
You won't regret it. It's really a really nice place to go to.
yeah, dude. No, I'm sure, dude. I mean, like, it's kind of almost like a New York City in a way. Like, it's like the New York City of the Midwest, if you will. I mean, it's a huge metropolitan area. I mean, they even refer to the whole area of Chicago as Chicagoland, because it's just
the greater Chicagoland.
yeah, it's just so big. Like, there's so many people over there. I think it's like probably number 2, maybe probably like 3 or 4 population wise, because in New York, LA, but Chicago's like right up there. So that's what's up. Obviously, you've been spending a lot of the time in El Paso now. So would you ever consider like a permanent move back?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay. Well, that's good because I was gonna be
But
mad.
I do plan
be
on,
sad,
on-
too.
on making more trips to Chicago because I tend to not go very often. And every time that I go, like I always forget how much I miss it until you're there. But yeah, I definitely need to go more often than I do. But no, I mean, El Paso for right now is home, and who knows what the future holds. You know what I mean?
Hey. So on one of our previous podcasts, and I was talking to Misa about this, and we couldn't remember where this Metallica impression came from that I did on one of the episodes. Do you have any context of like what we were talking about when we did this Metallica impression?
My first reaction was like, "These motherfuckers." I was offended.
What?
No,
You're a big Metallica fan or why? What is
has
wrong with it?
tattoos of Metallica,
No, yeah,
dude.
huge.
He has.
I mean, I
tattoos
thought
of-
it was pretty good though.
I have like 2 Metallica tattoos.
Like, this is Metallica
And
tattoo.
he took Silas to Metallica. Like, he's all
I took
about it.
Metallica. Yeah,
Yeah, how
I've
was
seen Metallica in Vegas, and then when they came here last year at the
Him
Don.
and our friend Ryan, the one that we
Yeah,
talked
Ryan
about,
too.
that we lived with. Yeah, him and Ryan have a lot of T-shirts and shit. But he said before, like, nah, Danny has way more T-shirts than I do. Like, that guy has them all.
Danny and Ryan are Metallica Bang Brothers. That's what they are.
And then
sure. Shout out
on
Ryan.
topic too. Whenever
Give me some space.
remember when Hot Topic would drop new shirts too? Get that shit.
Sweet Lord.
Yeah, Lena hooked me up with probably half of those T-shirts
Yeah, for sure. Because I was at
because she
fucking
worked
Hot
there,
Topic
and
for
I would always be like,
a
"Yo, when them
long
new
time.
shits, when them fresh shits come in, let me know, you know, because I'm there."
Yeah.
No cap.
There you
Exactly.
go. There you go.
No, and what Danny would ask Lena is like, "Yo, you got that new Metallica drip yet, or what?" and then Lena would be like, "Yep, it's on the shelves, no cap." And then Danny
And he'd be like, "That's fire."
no, Danny would be like,
I'd be like scratching my neck, waiting for that next fucking
yeah, Danny would be like,
T-shirt.
"I bet," you know what I mean?
That's horrible,
Say-
dude. That's horrible,
say-
dude.
put an extra large aside for me.
Yeah, dude.
She
that's
already
cool.
knew. She already knew.
So
Every time.
So the first time you saw Metallica, you saw him in Vegas. You Lincoln Park was there, right? You saw him before.
Yeah,
Jealous.
I saw him
Chester
with
died.
Ryan and his cousin.
Okay.
We went to Vegas, and yeah, we saw a few bands. Honestly, we saw No Doubt as well. No Doubt was a
Damn.
great show.
Wow.
Right?
No doubt.
Linkin Park were right on before Metallica, but there were other bands like Mana. We saw a little bit of Mana there too.
See, like Mana is a badass band, dude.
Yeah,
I'd rather watch Mana than
they
Metallica.
they honestly put on a very good show. Like their music sounds spot on to what their music sounds on album. It's pretty cool. It's
Hell yeah.
like it's really good.
Did you catch what Misa said about who he would rather see instead of Metallica?
Mana.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Oh yeah, mi
I can
amor.
see it. You look like
No me
you look like
digas
you
que no.
Keep singing it, bro. The best part was about to come.
That's really all I remember.
I know the rhythm like na 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 na.
It sounds nothing like that, bro.
Dude, it does. I know what song you're talking about.
Key.
I just can't sing the words to it.
God bless.
But yeah, so what about so obviously the Metallica concert in Vegas was probably better than the one here in EP, right? Or
It's the
no?
same guys, dude. Same guys. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of different. Well, I would say yes because it was my first time, and because I was how close I was to the stage.
Hey.
So yeah, I would say for sure. But then again, like I went with my son and my uncle and my sister this last time, so.
Yeah, the crowd was a little different from the first go around, I can imagine.
For sure.
And I remember Silas talking to me about that concert because, like, prior to, he's like, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know what it's like. And I'm like, dude, like, I can't explain it to you. Your mom can't explain it to you. Your dad. Like, you don't know what it's going to be like until you're there, you know? Because he's like, I don't know what a concert is. And I'm like, you're going to listen to all the songs you listen to, that you jam out to, that you go hard as fuck to. Like, you're going to do that and see them in person, you know? Like, they're going to be in front of you. So I think it wasn't until, like, he was there, obviously, that it, like, clicked, you know?
Yeah. He liked it up until he fell asleep, which I don't understand how you fall asleep in a loud-ass Metallica concert.
Dude,
yeah, that's
he's
true.
a little guy.
I'd probably be like that, too.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
He was
going
very
hard
little.
as fuck, you know?
I would probably fall asleep.
He was up for like a little more than half of it, like full energy, and then like he burnt out.
That's what I'm saying.
I
He
carried him for a little
crashed
bit, and
hard.
I was like, all right, like you're getting heavy, so I just sat him in his chair, and he was asleep for like maybe the last 5 songs.
Hey, Danny, no offense, but I would probably fall asleep during the Metallica concert
my
as well.
God.
Yeah, with all that.
Yeah, guys, there's an impression of me doing Metallica on one of our previous episodes.
Well,
It has to be episode 21,
I think
22,
it's
23, or
David. I think
24.
it's David's.
But
You know what, guys? Look, guys, this is what I say. Whoever can find that little part right there, let us know, man, and we'll give you a shout out. Chris will give you a price or something.
No, we actually have a gift.
yeah, I'll give you a gift. We're not going to say what the gift is yet, but
It's really cool.
it's going to be, if you guys can go through, I would say, don't look past episode 21. I would say it's
No. Start from episode 13.
Well, they're gonna be there forever. No. Start at episode 21 up until the latest episode. See if you can find my Metallica impression, and it sounds something like this. So
Let me wipe my face.
Jesus. Chris, Sam, say it. Don't spray it.
dude, I just spread COVID-19 all over my room.
I thought you were gonna have an aneurysm doing all that.
So yeah, anyway, guys, for real, go back, message me or Misa, or comment it on our page or on one of our pages, or Lena, and tell me where in the episode that, like, the time mark. That way I can go back and get it, because I was looking for that clip today and I couldn't find it. So on that note,
Maybe it's like a Mandela effect. Maybe it never happened. We just think it did.
whoa, maybe that's true. Maybe that never happened. No, just kidding. No, it really did happen, because Danny remembers it. I remember it. All of us remember it. So on that note, guys, let's take a quick break for this podcast, and then we'll come back. We'll touch a few more topics. We're going to talk about why a soccer team in Asia used sex dolls as mannequins for one of their matches. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the funniest things we saw on the internet today, and we'll wrap up the podcast with 5 random questions for Danny. So let's take a break, guys. This is episode number 26 of Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. Like I said, make sure to go hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, and now make sure you guys subscribe to our brand new YouTube page. We're going to take this break, and we'll be right back.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Milena from the pod. Just want to let you guys know we're on Insta, Facebook, Spotify, Anchor, all for free. Now we're also on YouTube, so check us out, spend some time with us, give us some feedback, tell us what you like, what you don't. Like I said, thank you guys for sharing your time with us. Now we're going back to episode 26 with Danny.
What is up, guys? We are back. This is episode number 26 of Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. Today, we are joined by friend of the podcast, Mr. Daniel Chi-Town, whatever you guys want to call him. Thanks again, Danny, for joining us. Guys, make sure you guys check us out on Facebook, like our page, follow our Instagram, subscribe to our brand new YouTube page. All your support is really, really, really appreciated. So let's get back into this podcast, Danny. How you feeling so far? How's it going? Like, what are your thoughts on the pod?
Good. I mean, I like it. I like conversation.
Goes by fast, doesn't it?
You love talking
yeah,
to
for
us.
sure. It goes by really fast. It didn't even feel like we were talking for that long.
So, all right, guys. So we took our break, and while we were on our break, I stumbled upon this article that I saw, right? And this article is on The Guardian, so it's not like just a fake article. It's on theguardian.com if you guys want to check it out.
If it's on the internet, it's fake, Chris.
Well, I mean, yeah, dude, everything's on the internet, but there's certain vetted resources that you can tell are legit. So this is the headline. Apple and Google release phone technology to notify users of coronavirus exposure. So pretty much the software relies on Bluetooth wireless technology to detect when someone who downloaded the app has spent time near another app user who later tests positive for COVID-19. So that's pretty crazy, bro. That just was posted at
Wait.
2 hours ago.
How would this work? How would it get notified?
Well, first off, you would have to download the app, so you would willingly have to go to your app store.
Oh, so there's an app
Yes,
for it.
yes.
Yeah. And then other people who are on the app. So if Chris is on the app, I'm on the app, and I'm on the app, and I say, hey, I'm diagnosed with it, then our apps are going to communicate if we're around each other.
Yes, exactly.
Or you could just post it on Facebook.
Or you could post it on Facebook. So, like, me and Misa were talking about this on the break. Like, in China, they have already had this. Like, this is old news in China. They've been doing this probably for, like, more than 3 months. But it's interesting that Apple and Google are teaming up to save America. They're saving the USA, one app download at a time. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Let's start with Lena here.
At the end of the day, we have to remember how much government is enforced and embedded in the country of China. So it's like, in some ways, it's good that government's taken over and eradicated. This is crazy to me. I think it's because more and more technology is bridging that line of privacy. Like, I tell Chris now, like, I wish I could just be off the grid, So it's like every time you download an app, like, you're willingly signing on for your information to be shared to that app. And then if there's a third party involved in terms of, like, selling my information and all that, it happens all the fucking time, every single day. And I think it's crazy.
I think it's in some ways it's still in a good idea. If you think about how they're using this to kind of help, to kind of like tell people what's going on,
be proactive.
I think it's exactly. I think it's a good thing. The fact that you're the one that chooses to get this app or not is a good thing too. Now, if it was kind of like, you have to have insurance or something, like you have to have this app in order for everybody, because I think that's how it was in China. Well, in China, you wouldn't get no choice.
Yeah, so in China, obviously, you have more of an oppressive government. So yes, this is mandated. But to me, the thing is that this is about tracing. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to trace people to see where you are, who you come into contact with. So you're always going to have
already doing it.
Yeah, they do it already, but
to us right now.
So, but what people are going to say is now this is more of like the big brother government overseeing everything you do at all times, because now you're giving them access by downloading this app. But like I said, at the same time, they do this shit anyway. So I mean,
yeah.
Well, that's exactly.
So don't download the app then if you think like.
Well, I would say you might want to download the app because they're gonna probably know before. Like, let's say everybody at your work downloads the app, right? Somebody comes down with COVID, but HR is in the way, blocking off everything so that not everybody knows about it. This app is gonna tell you way before HR does, so that way you know, oh shit, somebody in my office has COVID-19, so I need to either not show up there or be like extremely fucking cautious when I'm there.
That's why you quit and you get unemployment, so you have to worry about that shit.
Yeah, but if you quit, you don't get unemployment. You have to be laid off or furloughed. You know, if you just quit on your own like accord, that's on you. You quit. You know what I mean? We didn't let you go. But
Hey,
yeah,
you work with HR. What the fuck, Chris?
well, I've had experience with HR. Yes, dude. Yes, I do actually.
You've tried it. You've tried it before, huh?
Yes, I've been on
He knows the
unemployment.
loopholes.
Yeah, I've been on unemployment before, so I know what it's like.
Yeah,
and I know what the
Entertainment
requirements
closed down.
are. So like, it's not the best thing. It's cool because you work like, or you don't work and you get paid a little bit. You don't get your full salary.
Yeah.
But you also have to apply for jobs, like 8 jobs like a day. And if
It's
you've ever applied for jobs online, they take fucking forever.
Yep.
So it's
Why don't
not
you?
the
Well, I
easiest
was
thing.
just trying to apply at jobs at places that are closed because of COVID-19.
Yeah, but then
Hey, but,
so okay, Danny, thoughts on the whole fucking app to see if you've been exposed to COVID? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I don't see how it can work. You know, like I don't know how. For one, you're gonna get everyone or like people to actually download that app, and like who's gonna like want to? I feel like if you end up getting diagnosed with COVID, you don't really want to share that with the world or like with everybody. Maybe your like your close personal family,
But that- I mean,
just deal with it rather than just put it out there. Yo, I got COVID. You know what I mean? Like.
But I mean, that being said, like, because of COVID and what it does, wouldn't you want to? Like, the right thing to do is to be like, yo,
I mean, I
guys.
feel like the right thing would be just to quarantine yourself, to keep yourself away from other people. I think it'd be like to also pre-warn people that you've already been around. For example,
Right.
like if I in a week I got COVID and Chris was over last week, like, yo, Chris, I'm exposed to it. I haven't now, so I'm letting you know that you were exposed to it as well because you were near me. Like then I would say something, you know what I mean, but not just
But
put it
see,
out there.
I just, I mean, in my
in my
opinion, I don't see it, and it's understandable because I think it's like a Mexican thing. A lot of people wouldn't feel embarrassed, like if they were to get the COVID. You know what I mean? Like, not to share it with
I had too
everybody.
many Coronas, brother.
Yeah, dude. Like, hey, I got the corona. Don't tell nobody. You know, like everybody's gonna be at chismoso and shit. But I don't find that feeling of feeling ashamed.
But at
for
the
COVID.
same time, you
know
have
what I
those
mean?
people that don't have that respect and that regard for the people around them. And you have people that instead of wanting to actively do their part, they would rather take the easy way out. So this app is going to provide that because it's going to be like, okay, well, we're going to go out and this shit's going to tell me right away if I come into contact with person.
Yup.
So it's going
Yo,
to...
so what government agency is taking care of this shit?
No, that's
Is it-
in the U.S., dude. That's Samsung and Apple operating in the U.S. to release this app.
So
with
pretty
us.
much you're gonna have to watch an ad before you find out who the hell has
Yes,
it. It's
dude, of
like,
course.
It's like COVID-19 alert. Watch
Yes.
this ad first
Watch
to
this
find out
ad.
who.
Yes, yeah, dude. For sure, there's gonna be an ad. But look, I think more of the purpose of this ad is not like Danny said. You would notify the people that you knowingly come into contact with, right? But you don't think about the people that you come into contact with indirectly. Like example, going to a gas station and buying something, or going and at your work. You
To the
don't really
grocery store.
you don't work and personally know everybody that you work with. So it's kind of just giving everybody like a personal way
An
to
extra
like
precaution.
tell, you know what I mean? So think about it like, I know you guys have played Call of Duty. Think of it as like a sensory dart that you shoot on your phone. And then just like anytime somebody that was infected comes into your little blinking area and you know about it, you know what I mean? So like that's like my analogy.
I'm gonna get an alert like, oh
That
shit,
shit's
babe,
gonna
that
get
guy that was
violent,
missing
bro.
an eye in 7-Eleven. Yeah, well, he's got COVID.
Yeah, exactly, dude. You see, so that's kind of the purpose of it. But I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I thought it was like, to me, it's pretty crazy. But yeah,
To be honest, in my
back to
opinion, I think it's
tracing.
going to be a lot different compared to China, just because of how Lennis is. Like over there
Well,
in China,
and
like, the
the
government has
reality
full
is-
control.
Yeah.
So here, that's
they
like
don't know
pretty much
shit.
free say. People are not going to be. I don't know. I see half and half. I see half the people that are freaked out about all this shit, downloading it and stuff. And I see other half of people that are going to be thinking like, hell no, another thing to download and people to share our information with. Nah.
That's what I'm saying. Dude.
Hey,
Okay.
and then I'm like, hold on, who's not thinking about this? all the old people or older people who don't like to use technology, you think they're gonna go download a fucking app and register?
Hell no.
And then all the people in El Paso that you know, like, and I'm not trying to say anything about Mexican people, but like our Hispanic, like our race, we're very like against, like, bro, you can't tell us what to do. Like, I'm gonna go see my mom. It's Mother's Day, motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? I need to see my mama. Like, that's what God told me. So, like, you know what I mean? We're
Careful
very,
with your neck there, Chris.
From Hispanic to Texan. Like,
no, but I'm just saying, like, that's how it is, dude. Like, trust me, dude. I see it with my own family. But, like, for the young people, yeah, downloading an app is 2 seconds and we got it and we're ready to go. But, like, for somebody like my parents, like, if I told them to download this app, the first thing they're going to be is like, oh, well, do it for me. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to do it on their own. So the people who don't have the support, they're not going to download the app, and they're going to be like missing from this. So I don't know. But let's go to a slightly lighter note for the podcast, guys. Speaking about sports, so in South Korea, they resumed similar to how they did the Bundesliga in Germany. They resumed their soccer league, right? And FC Seoul, which is Seoul in South Korea, the soccer team of the city, they placed sex dolls in their stadium as mannequins during a live match. And then, you know what's even funnier is that people
they dressed them up and all.
Dude, they did. But the worst part is, like, other people that were watching the match were like, that's not a mannequin, motherfucker. That's a goddamn sex doll.
So during the game, they're like a scene cutout where like they would face the fans. And they were
that's how people. Yes, dude, that's how people noticed. People noticed, and they were like, "Bro, you guys have sex dolls." And they had not one or two; they had like about 20 of them, dude. And
that looks like my best friend up there.
And so they were fined $82,000 American dollars for that.
Wow. Hey, wait. Okay, hold on. Wait. I gotta ask this question. What is the issue with this? Okay, to start off with, when I saw this picture, dude, it's not like they were being used or they were like naked or anything. They were being used as like
okay,
if somebody was to use like a cutout.
Yeah, so here's the
somebody was smarter enough to do like a 3D version of a real person instead of a cutout. Okay. It's like, fuck this shit, dude. Let's get the closest to the realist.
So look, this is okay, so this is what they're accused of violating. So the K-League, which runs the South Korean football, and I'm talking football soccer wise, they run their soccer league over there, right? They have regulations that forbid inappropriate or sexual advertisements.
You see?
So it says, while football authorities accepted that Seoul had not purposely ordered sex dolls, they ruled that given the doll's appearance and characteristics, there was ample time from installing them in the seats on Sunday lunchtime until the evening kickoff to realize a mistake had been made. So they're just saying, you guys had sex dolls, and you were like, okay, put them in the stadium. And wait.
Did these sex dolls have like their mouth right open? Like if that's the case, then like maybe it was a good goal, and they're like, oh.
No. The sex dolls were wearing masks, bro. They were wearing masks, of course.
Oh, so what's the issue? I don't get it. How are they advertising any sexual shit? Because like I'm telling you, man, they weren't using it. It's not like you see
it's the concept of them being there. When you
it's the fact that people have dirty ass minds and be like, yo, I have one of those. I wouldn't show my
what
kids.
It is.
So what exactly? So why would you put that out for like? Obviously, this match is going to be televised. Like, in what fucking realm do you think that that's a good freaking idea to put sex dolls, not just regular dolls, but sex dolls? You don't put mannequins.
I'll tell you when it's a good idea. When you have a soccer game going and there's no fans.
Nah.
Well, yeah, but that's why you can get mannequins. You can get other things.
That's what I'm saying. A scarecrow. Like, come on.
But they look more real. Have you ever had one? The last one I had was that shit would give me a high five every time after.
Oh my god.
Okay, so
No sea mamón!
Thank you, Theo. Thank you. Keep this guy in line, please.
Whack.
So, okay, these are just the funniest things to me, and then we're wrapping up this whole topic. But number one, people that were watching the game were like, bro, that looks like the sex doll I have, bro. What the fuck? And then they look closer. They're like, they are using a fucking sex doll. I have that same one in the room next to me.
Is that Daisy?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Daisy, what the?
And then number two is, how did they order 20 sex dolls without knowing they were sex dolls? Like what? Like who did that? Who placed the order for that? Like, come on, like get it
Somebody
together.
must have gotten. Somebody's gonna get fired for sure.
Yeah, dude. Somebody's already been fired. I guarantee.
What I'm
you.
wondering is what happened to the sex dolls.
They were properly disposed of, if you can say it that way.
They gave them to the winners.
All right, so this guy.
Here you go, guys. You deserve it.
Hey, Danny,
Take one home.
we meant to ask you this question earlier. What was your first impression of Lena?
What? No.
Oh.
No. We said.
Honestly, she was cool.
Oh,
I met her
I'm gonna
one
keep
time
that
at a
forever.
party. I met her that one time at the party, and yeah, I mean, little by little, we started to see her around because you two guys had interest in each other, and the rest is history, as they say.
So I was supposed to, let me be real and take everyone behind the curtains. I was supposed to ask that in like the first part of the interview, like probably like 35 minutes ago, and I forgot, and we planned it out, and now I just found the time to do it. So
Oh my god.
just being completely honest with you guys. So let's move this podcast along. We're going to get close to start wrapping it up. Let's do our funniest thing you saw on the internet today, guys. I will kick off that one. So I have a friend. His name is Ray Corona, right? Rona. Okay, so my friend Ray, he lives somewhere in Florida. I'm not too sure. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but I'm friends with him on Facebook. He is a manager of a business over there in Florida, and he's on the local news with his name, Ray Corona, advocating for the business to open up. And like, to me, that was like the internet in the purest form, just being funny as fuck, dude. It's great.
That's exactly what the coronavirus wants, is for these businesses to open.
Yes.
And you got your buddy Ray over here,
the spokesperson.
folks.
Let's open up this business. My name is Ray Corona. Let's get it. So shout out to that. If anybody knows Ray Corona, you know he's a real person, and this was on his Facebook, so I'm not lying. I'm gonna throw it to Danny on this one. Funniest thing you saw on the internet today?
I couldn't find anything today, but the one for sure that stuck out from Monday, it was a meme that says, it's a caption of her saying, "Where'd you learn to suck my titties like that?" And underneath, it just says me with a bottle of that Gatorade with a nozzle with the chupon at the top. I thought that was hilarious.
That's perfect, dude.
Chimpon titties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lena, do you got anything for us?
Yeah, finally, Reddit. Shout out Reddit. I could
Shout
spend
out Reddit.
forever. No, I say it wrong. Whatever. Anyways, it says fashion advice, and it has like a picture of a nice yacht on this water. It's chilling, and it says, "My friends having their own clothing style." And then spaced out in the middle of nowhere in front of the yacht is this random guy on a surfboard, and it says, "Whatever the fuck I'm doing." And I felt that in my soul. Fuck you, Danny.
Damn, I think maybe now that I'm in my
Wasn't he holding
30s,
an
that's
umbrella
on him.
too?
Yeah,
Trying to catch a sail?
yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
Trying to keep up.
All right, Misa, your turn.
Oh, dude. Actually, earlier, I was looking for like kind of jokes to tell my daughter, that have to do with the quarantine. So I researched like quarantine jokes to tell, and then I see this post is like, it said like the only coronavirus jokes you could say. So I clicked on it, and then it was like this big thing, and it said inside jokes.
Bro, for sure that's gonna go over some people's head because
That's
when
a good one.
yeah, when he told me at first, I was like, bro, that was fucking trash, Misa, and then I was like, oh, it's Sod. Yes, it's Sod.
Yes, I got it before
Get it?
him.
Dude, I was I was processing. I don't know if you guys saw my brain. It was like processing.
It was like a loading.
I saw your eye twitch.
Yeah,
like,
you saw
trying
my
to-
eye twitch and shit.
I was waiting for that light bulb to go off in your head. Like, oh,
But I thought it was good, man. Especially like a good dad joke right there. I told my daughter. So
So
it was a pretty fun joke.
well, good to know that the internet treated us all good today, guys, and provided us with something that we could laugh at in these times of peril. So, Danny, we're going to do 5 random questions with you, and then we're going to wrap up this podcast. Are you ready?
let's do it.
Okay, so
All right, so
Lena's
Five-
going to take this segment. Well, not the segment, but she's going to be the asker of the questions.
The asker.
So, go ahead, Lena. Get it started.
So, talking about the first time we met, Danny, I remember never feeling so horrified in my life meeting someone for the first time. And let me explain. I remember going with Chris to a party. Thank God for Chris getting me out of my shell. And I didn't meet you at that point just yet, like when I had this thought, but I saw you. And I was like, damn, dude's got good eyebrows. And then that was it. And then I tell Chris, like, does that dude do his eyebrows? And Chris,
So where's the question?
no,
Here comes the question.
no, Chris fucking,
How do you do your eyebrows?
no, it's not even that, dude. So then Chris continues to fuck with me. He's like, what do you mean? And I was like, does he do his eyebrows? And then he kind of like smiled, smirked, and he's like, I don't know. And I was like, all right. And then that was it. Like, okay, cool. So then,
So we're going back to this question.
So then 10 minutes later, he's like, want you to come meet this guy. So I come up behind Chris, and then Chris steps to the side, and he's like, Danny, Lena wants to know if you do your eyebrows. I swear to God, I shit my pants. I was like, oh my God. Like that. What? I
I've
didn't
never
even
seen you
say-
blush so hard, dude.
Oh my God. I did. I hadn't even said hi to you, dude. That was the first thing out of his mouth. And you just
Yeah,
started,
it wasn't even like, hey, Lena, this is Danny. Danny, this
Yeah.
is Lena. It was like, yo, Danny, she wants to know who does your eyebrows.
Exactly.
Fucking
So who
Way
does
to
your,
break the ice,
yeah,
Chris.
so who does your eyebrows, Danny? That's the question. Question number 1.
Another question of who does my eyebrows. I do my eyebrows myself.
There you go.
Hey, no
I
joke,
mean,
man.
in all
I-
honesty, if I don't take
noticed-
care of my eyebrows, I look like a fucking werewolf, probably.
Hey, Drew.
Well, they look nice, bro.
Thanks. I
No
appreciate
joke, bro. I like your eyebrows, man. I wish I could do
Thanks,
some
man.
eyebrows.
Okay, so
I'm missing a
next
little bit on my
question.
right one.
it. I takes care of.
Okay, so Danny, Chris and I know that you're a fucking chef. Chef Boyardee, man. Fucking lit with it. So what's your favorite thing to cook? He's a really good
My-
cook.
Favorite thing to cook.
Like to make for people, you know what I mean? Not necessarily for yourself, but like...
Honestly, I like to make. I mean, I stick to more Mexican food. Recently, I really like to make pozole because I got really good at making it.
No!
Damn, pozole,
Like, it
look
took
it up,
me-
bro.
Yeah, it took me like
Yeet.
4 times to get it right, and when I finally got it right, like I was like, I like to share. I like to share like food. If I ever feed you,
Yeah, that's
just know
facts.
that like I consider you family.
For sure.
Hell yes, I'm waiting for that plate.
We
yeah.
used to, like, Danny
But yeah.
and Jamie used to cook for us pretty often. All right, question number 3.
I'll say this one. Question number 3, Danny. Chick-fil-A sauce, yay or nay?
That is a hard ass yay.
Yay! There you go.
It's a for me, man.
It's a solid hell yeah. Every
Why?
time.
Damn.
Yeah, for
I don't know,
me,
I did my fries in it. That's the sauce I used to dip my fries.
hey,
Oh, true.
for me, it's a hard nay, but it's okay. So
I'm a saucy girl. I'm down.
Dude, you can't go wrong with any other sauces for real.
their buffalo sauce is fire there. So question number
Yeah.
4, Lena's
the
gonna give
ketchup,
this
the
one to
ketchup's
you.
pretty good too.
All of them.
That cat soup.
Oh, there's
That mustard.
even their fucking salt and pepper there is amazing.
They're not sauces, they're smoothies. Guys, get it
Okay,
right.
question 4. Lena's
Question
got
4.
it.
Sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Oh, sweet tea.
That's a
What?
good one.
Yeah,
Who in
get
the
the
right
fuck
mind
out of
thinks
You
here.
never know.
Sweet tea.
You
Dude,
never know.
There's some
Come on.
sick people on
we
this earth.
British?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
that?
No, there's some sick
don't
people
judge.
on this
We
earth
don't
that are
judge.
walking
We don't
around
judge. You're right.
and will
Hey,
take
I judge.
unsweetened tea over sweet tea. And in
I
my
think
opinion,
I can do
that is wrong.
unsweet tea if it's flavored. If it's like Jamie recently had a black currant tea. It was
Oh.
unsweetened, but it had flavor of like I tasted flavor.
Yeah.
It's like
But if
not
it's just
seasoning
plain
your
ass
food.
unsweet tea, it's like
not.
unseasoned chicken. Like who has?
There
fun
you
with
go.
it?
Exactly. That's
Okay.
just nasty.
Question number 5, and then we have a bonus question, and we out. Your first and worst job?
My first job was at Albertsons.
No, really?
Ooh.
I remember that
Yeah,
by Coronado.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay, and your
That was
worst
my
job?
first job.
That's my favorite Albertsons to go to.
Yeah, me too. My worst job, probably working at that one warehouse I worked in when I was like a forklift operator, probably.
Oh, where Ryan was?
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was ruthless.
Or I was gonna say the Forever 21 sales section.
Oh,
Dude, okay.
I forgot I worked there for 3 days.
Dude,
3 days. We gotta hear this story,
yes,
man.
dude, yes.
Why?
Tell him.
Why did it only
sick
take
of
3 days?
it.
Tell him.
Okay, hold on. Let me set the
Oh my
stage.
God.
So I was working at Forever 21.
He was the plug there.
I had already fucking. Well, don't say that. That got me in
Oh.
trouble. You said that last time. That's another story, but don't say it like that.
He was
Well,
the job
I'll
plug.
tell you what happened. The
Job.
store,
God damn it, Lena.
dude. Somebody posted on Facebook if like something to the tune of, if you need a plug at Forever 21, it's me, right? And so they flew a district manager to our store to question me about stealing from them.
And then they called my fucking bosses at Hot Topic and was like, yo, there's
But-
been said that Chris and Lena or Chris and Mo Lena have been doing
So
this
what I
together.
was
And then I got a call security saying, "Yeah, you need to keep an eye on
yeah.
these two."
So what I was a plug for at Forever 21 was getting people jobs. If you needed a job, you could apply, and I would get you in 100%. And trust me,
That's illegal, Chris.
dude, I had like 3 or 4 of my friends working there.
I'm
and
making
then
a list.
Even Danny ended up working there. And Danny, tell us about your 3-day experience there.
Man, that sucked. I think they put me in like the worst section of the store, which I think was like the clearance section. And like, if you see it, it's literally just fucking thrown, like clothes just thrown on racks.
It's a fucking tornado.
And they're like, get in there, fix it, and just stay there fixing the whole thing. For 3 days, I did that. And I was like,
Fuck Chris.
yeah, that's not
Fuck Chris
for
and
me.
this hookup.
It's because he was
So,
supposed to
yeah,
work
I mean, that's-
stock. He was supposed to work in the stock. And look, to prove that I was the job plug there, at one point, I had my friend Danny that I got hired there, my friend Adrian that I got hired there, my friend Sam that I got hired there, and then back in the day, I got my friend Derek hired there as well.
That's how I met Chris, is when Chris and Derek were together all the time.
But they literally accused me of like stealing merchandise.
It was so fucking stupid. I remember being so fucking pissed.
It was
because
fucking stupid.
my district manager calls me and he's like, I need to talk to you. And I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, Larry, well, the fucking HR person for Hot Topic, he's on the line too. Like, what's going on? Only to find out that these fucking people called my fucking people at the current place and were fucking asking questions about where I was and all this shit. So I was pretty pissed.
Yeah, they were literally trying to like press charges on us, but anyway, it's whatever. Nothing happened.
That's hilarious.
no
Chris has a
evidence.
plug.
Yeah,
yeah, I
okay,
fucked
so
up.
Chris over here trying to be a
Dude, I was-
friend and get
dude,
people hired.
yeah,
and
I was.
shit, and-
People would be like, "Yo, I need a job." I'm like, "Brother, come
I
under
feel
my
like
wing."
It's more people
I
than
gotcha.
that. I just can't think who else. But
Right.
anyway, okay. So if you're listening to this and
Oh,
Chris-
you know who else? My brother tried to get a job there, but he already had a
Yes!
degree, and they're like, "Nah, he's overqualified. Get him out of
Yes,
here."
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah,
that's why I've never gone to school.
Yeah, he needed a job just for like a few, like
A summer
like
or
a month
something.
or a month and a half, and they're like, "Nah, get his ass out of here," because they knew he was gonna dip.
Yeah.
So anyway, bonus question, Danny.
Okay, bonus question.
Sorry.
Sorry, guys.
It's a very serious moment, Misa. Okay. One word to describe your life. We would prefer you do not use the word blessed.
Yeah, because everybody's life is blessed, and
Apparently, everybody's fucking blessed.
One single word
To describe your life.
to describe my life.
Cholo.
Adversity.
Oh.
Damn.
That's probably one of the top ones.
Hey guys, just a heads up, if you ever come on our podcast and we ask you that question, we need a response either just like Danny's or go back to episode number 21 with our boy Lavish and hear the way that he answers the question.
His was fucking
Because when we ask you for one word, we mean one word, and when you hit us something like lavish, that works. Or another one, adversity. So if you come on here, guys, and we ask you that question, just come prepared. That's all we ask.
Yeah. So shout out to Lavish for putting up an example of how to answer this question,
And shout out to Danny
and Daniel
as
too,
well.
because without them two, man, I'd probably quit. I'd probably, you know what? That's the thing, man.
I
We
would have
ask
stopped
these
asking
people
that
these
question by
questions.
now.
We ask them these questions at the end of the podcast, and I always tell myself, if this motherfucker says blessed, I'm gonna tell Chris to delete the shit out of this podcast because I ain't having the same shit over and over.
Whatever.
Fox.
But anyways, no cap, you got it right.
All right, guys. So let's start to wind down this podcast. This was episode 26, Conversing with Chris and Misa, the podcast. Make sure to check us out Facebook, Spotify. Hit the subscribe button on our YouTube page as well, guys. Danny, once again, I want to thank you for being on the podcast today and spending your time with us. What are your final thoughts on the podcast today? Any last words you want to leave us with? Any words of advice you want to leave us with? Anything?
Any shout outs?
Any shout outs as well?
Shout out you guys for having me. Appreciate it. It's my first time. I hope it's not my last time.
Hell no, it's not.
We hate you.
But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it.
Oh, he froze. He froze as he was about to mount off.
We will never know what he really thinks.
We're
I think
never
this is
gonna
fake.
know.
He did it on purpose. He did. Look at him. Look at him. I can see him twitching.
Yo, he's straight.
But you know what? Yeah. But that
Okay.
being said, man, I want to say thanks to Danny if you're listening, bro. It was good meeting you, man. Big shout out to Chris. Big shout out to Lena, dude. It's always fun getting with you guys.
Hey, Misa, give the listeners some life advice, just like one piece of advice.
One piece of advice, guys, is love each other.
Hey, there you go. That's good.
But just love each other, man.
Love
Okay,
rules
so-
all.
Love that neighbor. Love your kids. Love your wife.
Oh,
Your family.
Danny dropped out of the call. Damn, that's crazy. guys.
Damn, that's
we
the
should
first
call
one,
him
right? That's
back
the
and
first.
finish.
That's the first guest at least before we finish. Wow.
Dude, honestly, like that was the best time for us to have a technological glitch because that could have been like in the middle of the interview and ruined everything. So we'll try to get Danny back. If not, it won't be a big deal.
But
Lena,
before he does come back, guys, any last words?
yo, because he literally mounted off, like he mounted off, and that was it. And the fucking
I'm telling you, that shit's fake, dude. He did it on purpose.
That was
Because there's no
crazy.
way somebody could have been like, yo, man, I just want to thank you guys for having me. And you know what, man? I've always thought.
So
And then it just freezes like that.
yeah, dude, that shit was crazy. Okay, Lena.
Look, he just texted me. Well, that sucks. We'll call him back right now.
Tell him to rejoin. See if he can rejoin.
Rejoin. Okay.
Yeah, see if he can rejoin. That was funny, dude. That was like the perfect, like
Perfect timing, man.
the
That shit's
perfect
gonna
timing
happen.
for that shit to happen. If guys, if you're ever doing a podcast and somebody's mic is gonna cut off, like that was the best time you could have had it to cut off.
Yeah.
Because it could have been at the very beginning or the middle, and that would have just ruined everything.
Hey, I got to give out a side note real quick. It's to Lena. Dude, where'd you get that shirt, dude? I love it.
Hot topic.
Explain the shirt you're wearing.
Jimi Hendrix. Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix. Okay. Remember, guys, we're not on a visual medium, so you guys got to be descriptive.
Yeah. Well, I love it because it's his face and then it's his afro. It's his name. It's kind of like a psychedelic view of
Jimmy.
Honestly, the reason I liked it is because
Jimi
of
Hendrix.
Because of
Praise up in my praise.
well, I think it's important to celebrate. I don't know. I feel like I don't understand what it's like. You know?
Excuse me as I kiss the sky.
Okay, so give your final thoughts while we wait for Danny. There he is. Let's see. It looks like he's about to jump back in.
Oh, look.
Let's see. Give it a moment.
There he is.
There he
Yes.
Hold on. His audio. Let's see. Yeah, is your audio working? Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. So what happened there? Explain what happened there. You just
I honestly
I think he got nervous, dude, and he's like, "Fuck this shit."
lost signal.
okay. No, it's
It cut me
okay.
off, and then you guys just went blank, and then there you go.
Okay. So did you feel okay
send
with
you
your
those.
final thoughts, or you wanted to say anything else?
No, we completely didn't get his. Start over.
What did you last year?
All we heard is we want to thank you guys.
Yeah, he was shouting us out the last time.
Yeah,
we
dude,
were
I've been drinking, so I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna thank you guys for having me. I don't know if you heard that this was my first one. Hopefully, it's not my last part.
We'll
Just
have
make
you
sure to
back.
cook for us next time, and for sure we'll have you on.
Yeah, maybe
Next
we
time,
could do
hopefully,
like a
we're
cooking
not all
sesh.
in COVID, and then we're actually doing this face to face, and I will more than happily cook.
Or we
Hell
could do a
yes.
game, like a game between like us four. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then Misa
See who
can
could
ask
cook
the
the best.
questions and
Little
stuff.
potluck.
Well,
There
yeah,
it is.
that's what I'm saying. And then Misa can be like the coordinator. That way, you know what I mean?
Hey, you know how I could win Daniel over? Just bring some Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
bring
you-
a tub of that shit and you'll be good.
Just
Okay,
cater Chick-fil-A. How about that?
it'll be easier for everyone. Okay, Lena, final
Chick-fil-A
thoughts?
Honestly, I mean, you're my compadre. I love you so much, dude. Like, you've always...
Yeah, love you too.
Yeah, we've always been very close. I'm very blessed to have you in my life. Definitely.
Can't say that word.
Yeah. You said the B word. Get
I'm
it out of here.
very, very grateful to have you in my life for sure. Definitely honored to
Thankful.
be a godparent. Yeah, like size my dude. Fucker.
Okay. So, final
shout
thoughts on the podcast, guys, before we wrap this up. Danny, thanks again for coming on the podcast. It's kind of cool to me because you're not like the most like open person to people, but the fact that you wanted to be on the podcast for
I didn't
us.
think you were gonna do it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
that makes-
completely honest
to-
with you.
To me, that was
Yeah,
pretty
dude, I
cool.
didn't even know who you were, so I was like, is he gonna do that?
I don't even- no, but that's what
That
was
was a
cool
ghost
about
story
it.
at first.
Yeah, that's what was cool about it to me is that like I know you personally, knowing the type of person you are.
Yeah.
You're not the most expressive person, but like for you to
I'm
want
an
to come,
introvert.
yeah, for you to want to come up on here and tell us about yourself, like
That's
I think-
a
Yeah,
huge
well, I
thing.
mean, come on, who's gonna want to talk to a guy that's wearing a Bears cap?
I
Just kidding, bro. I thought I burned your beef one last time.
yeah. But I think that kind of speaks more on like the friendship me and you have, and like that like we're gonna just like
Chris is
you
always
can
on-
talk to me about anything.
That's my
I'm always
friend.
there for you. You know what I mean?
That's my friend.
So
Likewise.
shout out to you guys. Final thoughts, everybody. Make sure you continue with the social distancing and staying safe, even as things reopen. Be careful. Be aware of yourself. Take care of yourself. And number one, guys, I just want to thank all our supporters, all our fans. You guys have been coming in clutch with the plays. All of that is appreciated. Continue to run it up. Follow us on Facebook, like us on Instagram, all the above. And we're gonna keep putting out these podcasts because you guys are motivating us to do so. So shout out to that. And that's it, guys. And we are gonna be out.
What's up, everyone? This is Danny. I just finished episode 26 of Conversing with Chris and Misa. Make sure to follow them on Facebook, like them on Instagram, and subscribe to their YouTube page. I had a blast. I hope this was not my last podcast, and I hope that you all